Doesn't look like it's there yet, but that might be the delay. Oh. Hey everybody! Can you zoom that out so I can see myself partially just to see what's happening? Hi! Let me know in the chat if you can see me and hear me and everything is well. My husband has very kindly volunteered to sit beside me off camera to help with any technical issues, so please let us know. He's watching the chat. Hi everybody! Thanks for coming. Oh, good. Everything's good? Amazing. Ooh, I'm so excited. Okay, I'm also, full transparency, super nervous right now because I've never done a public live stream like this. I hang out with my patrons once a month on a live stream, but it's super nerve-wracking to be fully public like this. So be kind to me and each other, as always, obviously, but I'm very excited to be here and get to hang out with all of you for a little bit and just celebrate our awesome community hitting 100,000 subscribers, which honestly is totally mind-blowing. I feel like I still don't fully understand it. It hasn't fully sunk into my brain yet, but it is very exciting and I'm super, super grateful for all of your support and that you're here with me and just for being lovely humans in general, because y'all are awesome and I really appreciate it. Everything good still? Awesome. I'm just looking at the chat here out of the corner of my eye. I feel like my eyesight isn't good enough. I need zooming glasses. It's going by so fast. Thank you so much, everybody. Y'all are so nice. Okay, let me know also in the chat if you have any questions about anything or if you want me to address anything, if there are things you want me to talk about, because all I have planned is to hang out with all of you and be myself, as well as explaining the giveaway. But if there are things you want me to chat about, if you have anything that you'd like me to say, if you have a question that has been burning for a long time and I haven't gotten to it, or I just haven't seen your comments anywhere, because these days it's really hard to stay on top of all the comments that come in everywhere, let me know and I will try to address them and we'll hang out for a bit. I saw a couple people saying as we were getting set up that they were grabbing tea, which was an awesome idea, and I kind of wish I'd done that.
Do you want tea? I'll go make you some tea.
My husband, the lovely man he is, just suggested he would go make us tea, so claps for my husband. Everyone give my husband praise in the chat. He deserves it. He's my 24/7 tech support. Oh my goodness, so much stuff is coming in. Okay. Isn't that what husbands are for? Making us tea. I agree. Primary job of a husband. Some people have coffee. Yes, also great. For me, it's 5 o'clock and I can't drink coffee late in the day. Otherwise, I cannot sleep. I also apologize. We've had no construction in our area for a long time, and then today, out of nowhere, apparently it's construction day. So I apologize if you can hear that. It's quite loud. Hopefully they'll chill out in a couple minutes. Am I a temperamental redhead? I don't really know what that means. I have a lot of emotions, if that counts. I'm also not naturally a redhead, so any any stereotypes I may fit into of that ginger life are just a coincidence. Or maybe I dyed my hair to better fit my nature. Who knows? Hey everybody! This is so fun. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to follow the chat and there's just too much going on. If you want to have your comment for sure seen and addressed, you can use the super chat feature. As I said, this is my first ever time doing a public live stream, so I've never used it, but I believe it's turned on. So if you want to make sure I see it, that can be the way to do it. Otherwise, I'll just do my best. And when my husband comes back, I'll have him try to pick out questions. He'll scroll back and see if I missed anything. But before I address any of those, you can keep leaving comments and questions in the chat. But I did want to start off this stream, especially because people in the future will watch this as well who couldn't make it live. I wanted to start by going through just generally the rules of the giveaway so you all know what's going on. That's sort of our business for this stream. And then after that, we can just hang out and do whatever. So as some of you, I've noticed, have already seen, all the rules for the giveaway are already in the description box. Some of you have already been entering, you sneaky people. And so you can check out the description box if you want to see all the rules there. They are hopefully clearly listed. But again, if you have questions or something isn't clear, let me know and I'll try to explain it further. But basically, the giveaway has 10 winners. This just felt right for 100,000 to try to give 10 winners a chance. I would have loved to do 100 or 1,000, but you know, there are some limitations, unfortunately. Luckily, Archer and Olive, which y'all know I love, I work with them, I'm on their design team, which just means that they send me new products and I write blog posts for their website and I get to give them feedback on things or collaborate on projects. So they were kind enough to offer to provide the prizes. So the 10 prizes, we're going to have 9 winners who are going to get the same prize, which is one Archer and Olive notebook of your choice. So once you win, the winners will be selected a week from today, so April 7th. When you win, when you've been selected, you can check out their website and you can pick any notebook that's in stock. So any size, any type, any paper type, whatever, as long as it's still in stock, that can be your prize. So that's 9 winners. And then the final winner, winner number 10, is going to be getting the grand prize, which is the March or spring subscription box from Archer and Olive. So if y'all watch all my videos, you will have seen I did an unboxing of this box a couple weeks ago. So you'll already know what's inside. If you didn't see that, you can check that out. I have the link to that video in the description box, so you can check it out and see what's in it. And if you're interested in winning, I think it's a pretty amazing prize, to be honest, because the things in that box equal just under $200 US. There are 3 notebooks in there, there are stamps, there are stickers, there's a tote bag, there's acrylographs, there's so much. So that's the grand prize winner, and I'm really excited about that because I know a lot of you wanted to get the sub box and didn't manage to get it because it was sold out or just was out of your price range or budget at the time, which I totally understand. So I'm excited to be able to give one of you the sub box. We can be twinning with our sub boxes, and then the other 9 of you are going to get the notebook of your choice, which you can use for your next bullet journal or whatever you need. So those are the prizes. I'm going to take a breath because I'm talking a lot and not breathing, and maybe take a sip of water. And then I'm just going to quickly explain the rules, how you can enter, and then I see that we already have some questions coming up, so I'm going to address those in a second. Remembering to breathe. Okay, so for the actual rules, the rules are pretty basic. You have to be subscribed to this channel, of course, since this is a celebration of our community and our subscribers here. You also have to turn on all notifications. You don't have to keep them on after the giveaway. I know they can be irritating or stressful. I totally get it, but just turn them on for now because I'm going to be announcing the winners in a community post on my YouTube channel. So you want to have all notifications on so you see when I post that, because I know community posts are kind of weird and they tend to not show up for most people. And I don't want you to miss if you win, because I'm going to give a 48-hour window before I pick new winners if I don't hear back, just so that I can get this finished and make sure that everyone gets their prizes. So turn on notifications as well. The third thing is you have to be 18 years or older. If you're under 18 years old, you have to get the permission of a parent or guardian. This is for legal reasons, to give me your address or give Archer and Olive your address. So make sure that you have that permission. And lastly, this is open internationally, so there are no limitations. No matter where you live, you can win. This community is super international, as I've noticed by everyone talking about what time it is where you are. We're from all over the place, so I needed to make sure that this was open to everyone. So those are the basic rules. When you go into the description box, you'll see that there are a bunch of mini rules for each prize. I decided to have a separate entry for each of the 10 prizes just for my own brain, so I could keep things organized. So you'll see down there, there are 6 ways to enter for the first 6 prizes, so the grand prize, and then 5 of the regular prizes. on YouTube. And those involve going to a specific YouTube video, giving it a like, and then leaving a comment answering the specific question that I've posed for that one, and making sure that you include the hashtag PBB100K. That's just so that I can search through the comments and make sure that I see all the entries to pick the winner. So that is how you enter on YouTube. Again, everything's in the description box, so if this is confusing, check that out. And then there's also a couple winners on Instagram. So if you want to follow me over on Instagram, you can enter to win a couple more notebooks. So I believe I have 2 winners on Instagram. Same thing, follow me on Instagram as well. Go like the post that's linked and leave a comment answering the specific question. There's also going to be a winner on Twitter because I'm trying to use Twitter more in 2021 and I haven't for several years. So it's kind of a quiet community over there. So there's going to be one winner on Twitter, and there's also going to be one winner on TikTok, which I just started my TikTok last year and I haven't done much on there. But again, I'm hoping to do some more on there in 2021. So those are the same idea. Go to a specific tweet or a specific TikTok, or individual TikToks called TikToks, or they're just videos, I don't know. And then answer the question that I've posed. Make sure again on all your entries that you use hashtag PBB100K so that I know that it's an entry and not just a general comment. And that's it. That's how you enter. A week from today, I will randomly select a winner on each of those videos and posts and tweets and videos on TikTok, and I'll announce them all in a community post on YouTube with everyone's name. And if you don't get back to me in 48 hours, if you don't claim your prize, I'm going to pick a new winner just to keep things moving along. So hopefully this is super clear. Let me know in the chat if this makes any sense to you, if this is generally good, if we figured it out. Hopefully it's relatively simple. Again, all the details are in the description box. So if what I just said makes no sense, check that description box out first, make sure that you've read it through it. And if you still have questions, please let me know. Makes sense to everybody? Please let me know if it makes sense. Should be pretty straightforward, hopefully. Okay, so I see a super chat here. Will A&O sell stamps separately? Yes, they will. So they actually already are. I have them somewhere. Actually, I think they're in this drawer over here. So with the spring collection, which I'm gonna drop everything. The spring collection, which launched last week, I believe, they came out with a bunch of acrylic stamps. So I'm at risk of dropping them all over the floor. These are the stamps. They're probably reflecting my lights, but these are the 5 options for stamps that they have right now. So you can buy these individual packs of these acrylic stamps. And then if you have an acrylic block made by any brand, you can use them with these. So they have released them separately, but obviously there are also some in the subscription box that were exclusive to that box. And that was the first time that they released them. Queen, you are great at explaining things. Thank you. I try. Sometimes I get a little off track while I'm trying to explain things. Will A&O sell ink or blocks for the stamps? As of right now, they're not selling their own inks, so you can use whatever inks you like. In the subscription box, they did release 2 little teardrop-shaped inks, one black and one gold, but they're not carrying those on their site right now. So that was a one-time thing. They may produce them in the future, but as far as I know, that's not a plan. But you can just use whatever inks you like. Do you want to, can you scroll back and just see if I missed any comments? Yeah. Questions? Okay. Okay, I need another sip of water. I'm out of breath again.
The kitties are great. They're sleeping right now.
I don't know if you heard that, but my husband said the kitties are great. They're sleeping right now. I had Yoda sitting on my lap, ready to go, and then as soon as we were about to hit live, she jumped off and ran away, so I guess she got stage fright. Maybe they'll come by a little later. Was there a question back there that I missed? I would like to know how you pick your monthly themes. How far in advance do you select a theme, and how do you decide the technique used? My favorite was the alien pointillism. Oh, I love that theme too. I was so sad. That theme did not get a lot of love, just in general. That video didn't do very well, which is kind of sad. How do I pick monthly themes? Honestly, I couldn't tell ya. Sometimes it just comes to me. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, yes, a weird, obscure theme based off of this one line from a TV show I saw when I was 10. That's the theme. And sometimes it's very thought out, something that I've sort of been planning for a while or have wanted to do for a long time. It just wasn't really sure how to approach it. And then I finally have an idea of how I can make it happen. Sometimes as well, my patrons, I know I saw a bunch of my patrons in the chat here, so I know some of you are here. My squad on Patreon, they're also amazing at giving suggestions and requesting themes. They also help me a lot when I can't decide, because we have our Discord where we all hang out and chat. So a lot of times I'll post and just say, hey, I have these 2 ideas. I don't know which one to do. And they're really helpful there. So that helps as well. But yeah, where I pick them from, it's just random. It can be inspired by a song or a piece of art I saw or a sculpture or a leaf that I see when I'm walking to the post office. It can be literally anything. How far in advance do I select a theme? Usually not that far in advance, I guess. As far as from when I pick it to when you actually see the video, it's probably 2 to 3 weeks. But I usually pick a theme, and then the next day I spend a while letting it percolate and kind of brainstorming. The next day I'll usually do some research online to get some ideas of maybe what other people have done so that I can try to do something different, or to look up reference images, because a lot of times I'm picking a theme that hasn't really been done or, you know, isn't popular in the bullet journal community. So I have to find some, you know, pictures of sculptures or artwork that I'm going to use as inspiration. And then the next day I'll usually sketch it all out and get it ready. And then the next day I film. And then you guys usually see it, or y'all usually see it about a week later-ish. So maybe a week of my own time before I film, and then a week before you all see it on average. So about 2 weeks ahead of time. Okay. How do I decide the technique used? Honestly, I just pick what I think I can manage for what I'm doing. Sometimes, obviously, if I'm doing something based on a particular art style, or if I have a very specific idea in mind, then it's sort of the style is determined for me, or the technique is determined for me, so that I can get the result I'm looking for. But sometimes it's just kind of how I think that I can manage to do it. So if it's a very complicated theme, you know, I may decide to do something in a very minimalist line art style because I feel like I don't really have the skill to do it in a realistic drawing style or ink style, or maybe I worry that I won't be able to paint it the way that I want to, so I decide to do, you know, a simple line art style. That's often what I'll do if I'm doing drawings of people or faces or body parts, like my February theme where I did a lot of hands. That's a very minimalist line art style because I'm awful at drawing hands. I just knew I wouldn't be able to do a good job in a different style. So often it's literally just me picking the style that I think I can hopefully get a nice result out of, because again, I'm completely self-taught. I'm not, you know, I haven't had a lot of training in different art styles. I'm just somebody who likes to draw and paint and try things. So a lot of times it's just whatever I can manage, to be honest. There's some more questions. Apparently, how will I be announcing the winners? They'll be announced in a community post on my YouTube channel. So that's why you have to turn on all notifications. You'll get a notification when I post that community post, and you'll know to check it and see if your name is there as a winner. Do you still get nervous before filming? I don't get nervous before filming. I do get nervous before doing live streams. Even with just my patrons, I get nervous. It's just, you know, knowing that it's real time, and if I mess up, there's no going back. That makes me a bit nervous. And I have some social anxiety, so that comes into it too. But just regular filming, no, it's doesn't make me nervous. I'm just by myself in a room, so it's fine. Do you use your Bujo all over the day, or do you just fill it in the evening? I use it all day long. So behind me here, this is my office that I'm in. My desk is back here, and then over there is my computer where I do all my editing. And right behind me is my bullet journal. And let me grab it. I literally just have it sitting open on my desk all day long, every single day, and I'm constantly filling it in, flipping back to other spreads to use them. Obviously, my rolling weekly is going to be the spread that I have open most often, because that's what I'm using for my daily tasks and to-do lists and all that. Excuse me, but I also go back and fill in all my other spreads on a regular basis, so it's all day long. I answered that one already. Oh, random question, but what's your go-to Tim Hortons order? Miss Pumpkin Spice. That's so funny. I gotta be honest, I haven't been to Tim Hortons in several years. I probably would just get a black coffee. Do they have non-dairy milks now? I don't even know. They didn't used to when I used to shop there or buy food there. If they have non-dairy milks, then I probably get coffee with a little splash of oat milk or almond milk or whatever they have. Not very exciting. Is there a theme you would never do or was difficult to do and gave up? Love you. Thank you. Mariana. Hopefully that's how you're saying your name. A theme I would never do. I mean, I'm sure there are lots of themes that ideally, you know, in a dream world would be amazing to do, but I'm probably never going to do because I just won't be able to do them justice. As I said, I'm no artiste. I'm not, you know, I know that I have a certain amount of ability and that mostly comes from just drawing every single day and, you know, practicing a lot. But there's a lot of things that I would rather leave to someone with a lot more talent and training than me to do really beautifully. But I don't think there's anything that I would never do outside of, you know, offensive themes or themes for things that I just don't care about or don't like, I guess. Like I'd probably never do a theme around sports because I just don't really watch sports or care about them. And my husband doesn't watch sports either, so I wouldn't do it for him. So is there one I gave up? I've never given up on a theme and just completely scrapped the idea altogether. I have restarted themes, not recently, but a couple years ago, I've had some themes where, you know, I do the cover page and I hate it, so I glue the pages together and start over. I haven't had to do that for a couple years, which is nice. I usually just try to make it work, even if I'm not happy with it. What comes to mind would be my marble theme from last year, which didn't turn out the way I wanted, and I wasn't super happy with it, but I just kind of did my best and then put it out in the world and let it live, you know? Have you ever experienced fingerprint transfer on your gouache spreads? I have fingerprints all over my white pages. No, I have not. That's really interesting. I don't know what would cause that. Is it just a very faint print of your fingers, or is it like there's something on your fingers that's going onto the page? I don't know. I haven't experienced that. Okay. I think I'm caught up there. Have you considered doing a world theme with places you've been or want to go? Congrats on the 100K, all love from Mozambique. Thank you. Have I considered doing a world theme? Yeah, I mean, I've considered doing themes based on, I probably wouldn't do a single theme that's the entire world because I feel like that scope would probably stress me out. But I have thought about doing themes for specific places, either places I've been and loved or that are significant to me or places I would love to go. That's definitely something I would like to do in the future. It's something I've considered doing several times and then sort of backed away from it to do something else instead that's kind of more pressing or something I'm really excited about, but I would love to do that, yes. What is your dream theme that you might not feel ready to do yet? Ooh, Katie, that's a hard question. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of themes ideas that I have. I don't know if any of you use the app Trello. You can use it on your browser or you can also have an app on your phone. And I use that to track theme ideas and video ideas just so that I can write them down no matter where I am and quickly rearrange them and move them around. And I have probably, I don't even know, over 200, probably over 300 theme ideas in there for both myself and my husband. And a lot of them are just living there for a long time because I'm just not sure how to make that happen, you know? But there's not one on the top of my head that I've been really wanting to do and just scared to do specifically. There's just a lot of them that I'm not sure I can handle. Oh, I have a floof delivery. Hi, Chewy. Oh, say hello to everybody. That's the internet. Those are your adoring fans. Hi, Chewy. Okay, what's another question? I can't really read from here. Would you use acrylographs more in the future? They're so beautiful. Yeah, I've been using them a lot more recently. Like I used them for Jason's theme last month for the Mars theme for March. I used them this month for his April theme. I used one for my April theme this month for all the lettering, so I'm definitely using them a lot more. I think as they come out with more and more colors, there's more options or opportunities for me to use them in themes where there's the perfect shade for what I'm looking for. But yeah, they're really awesome. I love how easily they layer. They make it really easy to do themes, and they dry really fast, which I appreciate since y'all know I hate smudging. Did you start with artistic Bujo straight away, or did you start with a minimalist one? How do you deal with being overwhelmed in the beginning? I started with a very minimalist one. I actually have a video. Sorry, my stool is squeaky and Chewy is heavy. I have a video on my channel flipping through my earliest bullet journals in these tiny little, I guess they're probably B6 sized, little pocket sized moleskin journals. And that's where I started bullet journaling back when I was living and working on a cruise ship. So those are super simple, just pen and paper, no doodles, nothing artistic, just me writing out my schedule and my to-do list and trying to stay on top of it. And then slowly as I moved forward, even within the first year, I started trying to use prettier fonts or color coding things, adding doodles here and there. So yeah, it started pretty early on, but I did initially start with just the very basic system, super minimalist. And then how do you deal with being overwhelmed in the beginning? Because of the way I started, and because I started so long ago before there was a big online community for bullet journaling, I didn't get overwhelmed. It was honestly helping me to not be overwhelmed by my schedule that was all over the place. Okay, bye Chewy, that's a big jump. Okay. I was already overwhelmed because my schedule changed every single day. We were going in and out of ports all over the place. Time zones were changing because we would change our time zones to fit wherever we were in port. So if we were in the Grand Cayman Islands, then we would have a certain time zone, and then we'd go to Key West and it would change, and then we'd go to the Bahamas and it would change again. So for me, it was just saving me and helping me to figure out what I was supposed to be doing, where I was supposed to be every day. So it was very much opposing the overwhelm of the situation that I was in. But I can totally understand how coming into it now, where there's such a big community and so many people are super focused on the artistic side, which obviously I am as well, and I adore it. But I can totally see how that would be overwhelming. And honestly, all I can really say is just to focus on why you want to start a bullet journal, what you're getting out of it, and to not compare yourself to other people, because, you know, wherever you are in your journey is, you know, your own journey, and you're on your own path, you know. And if you're comparing to people, for example, I've been bullet journaling for 6 years or something, 7 years, something, maybe not 7 years, I think 6 years, 2014, 2015. Yeah. So about 6-7 years. So if you are just starting your bullet journal now, your first bullet journal, and you're comparing to mine, you know, I'm 7 years down the road of figuring out what I like, what I don't like, working on my skills. You know, drawing every single day for 7 years is really going to improve your skills. If you watch those old flip through videos on my channel, you'll see how rudimentary my art skills were at the start. Things have changed a lot over time. So I wouldn't compare yourself to other people, and I know it can be overwhelming, but just try to focus on why you're doing it, and, you know, what you like about it, what you want to get out of it, and try to be easy on yourself. Don't force yourself to fit some mold of what you think a bullet journal has to look like, you know? Do you doodle or practice your art before any of your videos? I'd love to see a behind the scene prep vlog. Ooh, that would be fun. That's a good video idea. Heidi. Do I practice my art? Well, I do. I sketch out every setup that I ever do beforehand, and it can be sometimes hard to see, even though my videos are, you know, 1080p. It can sometimes be hard to see the pencil marks, but I spend several hours sketching every spread that I make before I start to film, to try to make sure I know the proportions and, you know, balancing the spread, where everything's going to go, and to figure out how to draw things, because as I mentioned, I often pick something that I've never drawn or painted before, and then I just go for it. So I don't really do a practice where I try to do a full finished drawing or painting of what I'm doing. I usually just sketch it out, but I do spend a lot of time sketching. And then, you know, sometimes it doesn't work. I've definitely, especially when it comes to painting, if I'm painting on a separate piece of watercolor paper, a lot of times I will paint for several hours and realize that I've messed something up or it's just not working. And I just scrap it and start again, and I just don't use that footage for the video. But I don't do a practice run first. Will I be doing a collab with Archer and Olive from Tiffany? Maybe. I can't say anything about that. Is there a reason you never use a master task list, and does it get confusing having all types of tasks mixed in? Not a particular reason. I've used them in the past. I just find that using my rolling weekly and having a weekly task list is best for my particular brain. Does it get confusing having all types of tasks mixed in? Words. Not really. I do typically in my weekly task lists try to organize them. So I always put videos I'm working on first. I typically put all the work tasks I can think of first and then put personal things at the bottom. I try to separate out videos, Instagram things to do with my patrons, admin tasks. I kind of do subsets like that and try to keep them organized. Obviously, if I think of something later, it just has to go at the end of the list, but I usually don't have so many tasks that I can't quickly skim down them and see what's going on. So I don't personally find it confusing, but obviously the great thing about bullet journaling is that you can adjust it to fit whatever it is you need, and we all have super different ways of approaching how we get all our stuff done. We all have very different brains. So if a master task list works better for you, or if you need to have separate lists for different things, then that's definitely what you should do. Other than hitting 100K, which congrats, thank you. What is your favorite memory of your YouTube journey? So proud of you, Elizabeth. Hashtag PBB squad. Thanks, Mylen. You're great. What's my favorite memory of my YouTube journey? Oh my goodness, I don't know. There's a lot. I don't know if all of you know this, but I started my first YouTube channel when I was 14. It's not this YouTube channel. It was deleted in high school when classmates of mine found it and bullied me, so I deleted it. And then this channel that we're on now, I actually started in grade 11 when I was 16 under a different name. It made completely different videos. So I've been making videos on this channel on and off since I was 16, which is 12 years, which is kind of nuts. Favorite memory though? I don't know. I feel like it's probably has to be the day that I quit all my side jobs and day jobs and went full-time on YouTube. That was a pretty big deal to me, that I could manage to be bringing in an income, and that the community had grown enough that I felt that I could do that. That was really amazing. And someone else asked a question, what job did I have before becoming a YouTuber? Which kind of fits into this, which is I was an actor, I was a performer, I went to college for musical theater. So I worked in musical theater, I was in shows, I worked on cruise ships performing. And then because of that, and because that's the life of an artist, I also had a lot of side hustles and side jobs. Like working in restaurants and working retail, anything I could do that had a flexible schedule. I worked at a hall that put on the symphony orchestra in Toronto, and I was an usher there, which was great because I got to watch the symphony for free. Well, I actually got paid to watch them, which was pretty fantastic. But yeah, I worked a bunch of side jobs so that I could try to continue my career as an artist, as an actor, which is quite a difficult life to have. So that's what I was doing before YouTube. And then I continued to do both of those things, both performing and also my side jobs with YouTube for several years until 2 years ago, almost exactly 2 years ago, a couple weeks back, maybe a week back, 2 years ago, I quit all my side jobs and took on YouTube full time. And at that time I was still auditioning and doing background work in film, TV, and auditioning for theater productions. But I've kind of stopped that. I mean, part of that is just COVID, there's not a lot of theater happening right now. But also I'm just kind of in a different point in my life, and I grew up as a dancer, and that was kind of my main skill as a performer, was dancing. And I have a pretty awful back injury that has made it a lot harder for me to dance. So as of right now, my performing is kind of on pause. I don't think I'll ever stop loving theater, and hopefully someday I can get back into it a bit, maybe, or do some productions here or there. But for right now, that's kind of over. I'm doing YouTube full time. Am I in Canada or the US? I'm in Canada. I live in Toronto. May I ask a favor? Would you please do a drama or theater theme? That would be super fun. Maybe I can do that at some point. it's interesting. I haven't thought of doing that. I feel like I've always kept YouTube and performing very separate in my mind, so I don't do a lot of content on YouTube that references my whole other career and what my degree is in, so that's kind of funny. Have you always used a bullet journal or used a traveler's notebook? If so, which do you prefer? I've never used a traveler's notebook as my main bullet journal. I started in B6 notebooks, then I moved up to A5 notebooks for several years, and now I'm in a B5. And then I use a square notebook for my reading journal. I definitely prefer larger notebooks just for me personally, especially because I work from home and I don't really have to take my bullet journal anywhere, so it doesn't matter if it's kind of large and unwieldy. I like to have more space. Not sure if you answered this before, but how did you come up with your YouTube name? My YouTube name, Plant-Based Bride, came from my blog that I started. So after I was working for Disney on their cruise ships as a performer, when I came back, my husband proposed and we started planning our wedding. And I'm vegan, he is also vegan, so we were planning a vegan wedding and wanted to do something sort of minimalist and eco-friendly. And I ended up wanting to start a blog to kind of commemorate that journey, document it, share tips with other people who were trying to do the same. And this was back in 2015, so there wasn't as much on the internet about this kind of thing. It was sort of ahead of the curve, I guess. And I was trying to come up with a name, and Plant-Based Bride is the one I got. Plant-based is another word for vegan, a plant-based diet. And then obviously I was going to be a bride. My whole blog was about our wedding. So that's where it came from. And it just kind of stuck. So that's the name now. Have you spilled tea or water on a spread and ruined it? I don't know if I've ever ruined it, but I've definitely spilled coffee on several spreads. If you watch, I don't remember if it was my last flip through or the one before. I think it was 2 flip throughs ago. I had coffee stains on at least 30 pages because my problem is that I have my bullet journal on my desk and usually my coffee sits right behind it. So I have to reach over my bullet journal to grab my coffee and drink it and put it back, which is a really awful idea. So I've spilled coffee on my bullet journal many times. Luckily, never so extensively that the spreads can't come back from it, but yeah, it's not great. How have you been doing lately? How are you holding up during COVID? Thanks, Ellie. That's nice. I've been okay. I think we're all kind of struggling right now. I've been super overwhelmed lately, so I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm trying to manage my anxiety. Luckily, I feel very grateful to work from home, so I pretty much don't leave my house unless I very much have to, if I have to go to the bank, if I have to go to the post office, but otherwise I just stay home. So it's been a bit hard, but luckily, again, I'm very grateful to be able to work from home, to have a job. My husband has been home, so it's been nice to spend time together. I have my cats to comfort me when I'm feeling super anxious, so trying to hold up. I hope all of you are holding up okay as well. Hopefully the end is in sight, What else is going on here? What's your favorite Bujo cover color? I feel like I just like bullet journals in colors that I like in general, which tend to be rusty colors like what I'm wearing, my hair color, browns. I love greens, especially greens that are more on the warm side, so more of an olivey green. I also love dusty blues or navies and blacks, those kinds of colors. Pretty much any color that would fit within a color palette for fall. That's my aesthetic. Those are the colors I really like. So those are probably the covers that I tend to gravitate towards, and my current bullet journal's a nice rich brown, so that sort of fits in. Awesome. Have you thought about making your own Bujo planner? I have considered it. Maybe someday. I don't know. I feel like people are already doing that and doing it very well. For example, Amanda, my friend Amanda from Amanda Rach Lee, well, not from, that's her name. Her planner is amazing. So I don't know if I could really improve upon what she's doing there. And lots of other people are doing planners as well. Maybe someday, maybe as a fun, anniversary sort of thing. Who knows? But having digital products is a whole other thing, and I'm still the only person who handles literally everything that I do online, other than my husband helping with tech support. But I'm a one-woman show, so it's a little stressful, the idea of kind of expanding to that level, you know? Hey, I loved the marble theme. I'm glad. I know a lot of you liked it, and I'm really glad that y'all did. I think it just didn't fit my very specific image that I had in my mind, so I felt like I'd failed. And it was actually really good to put it out there, despite the fact that I felt kind of deflated about it, and to see that y'all still really enjoyed it. That actually helped a lot to realize that maybe I'm too hard on myself, which I already know, but it can be easy to forget, you know? Okay. I'm scrolling. Do I see a couple, do I have a plan for my May theme? Not yet, not really. I have a general potential idea that's kind of cliche, but could be fun, that kind of ties in with my April theme, but I haven't fully decided yet. A couple of you are talking about how much you love the Rolling Weekly, and I love that. I'm so glad. It makes me so happy. Oh, that's interesting. Ali, I know you said you don't want too many plan with me's in a month, so the reading journal may not be a monthly thing, but have you considered making the reading plan with me a Patreon exclusive? That's a really great idea. I could potentially do that. Right now, it's mostly an issue of just literally not having enough time in a day or in a week or in a month to create all the content I'd like to create, again, because I'm the only person planning everything, doing everything, editing everything. It's a lot. So right now, I don't even know if I'd be able to find the time to do that every single month, but that might be a good idea to kind of offset the cost. Maybe that would help me to be able to hire an editor to at least edit some of my content, which honestly I'm very resistant to, because I feel so protective of my content and I want to be the one doing everything and making sure everything is done the way that I want it to be done. But obviously a lot of people work with editors and they do a great job, so they'd probably be better than me because they probably have a lot more experience and potentially training in editing, which, you know, I just taught myself how to edit. So have you traveled a lot, or are you more of a home sweet home person and stayed mostly in Canada? I haven't traveled in the last couple years, but I used to travel a lot growing up. With my family, we traveled a lot. My parents love traveling. So I've been to a couple places in the world growing up. I also, as I mentioned, worked on cruise ships, so I've traveled a bit through work in that circumstance, but I would love to travel more. I'm definitely generally a homebody as a person, a bit of a hermit, but I absolutely love learning about different cultures, going to different places. I'm so inspired by nature, by landscape, by architecture, by the patterns and textures of different places, and by the people who live there. So I would love to travel more. My husband and I would both love to travel to so many places in the world. So hopefully after COVID, we can figure out a way to make that happen. Okay, I'm gonna skip to the most recent comments and see, because I think I was I was a little far back. Let's see. You could do a May the Force Be With You Star Wars / Star Trek. I actually did a May the Force Be With You theme a couple years ago in my bullet journal. There's a whole Star Wars theme. If you go back on my channel, you'll find it. I hope the next big step is YouTube verifying you. You've earned it. Oh, thanks. I actually don't have any idea what the requirements are to be verified. Who knows? YouTube is confusing. I just wanted to ask you, how does your worry tree help you forget the worry? Worry trees are really helpful if you deal with anxiety or just a brain that catastrophizes a lot, which I definitely do. It's used in therapy a lot. It's a therapeutic tool to be able to kind of travel down, ask yourself some questions to sort of contextualize what you're worrying about and help you to frame it in a more realistic way and kind of ease your mind a little bit and remember that it's not going to be the end of the world, even if the worst case scenario happens, which it probably won't. So it's definitely helpful. I know when I'm my most anxious, I'm really bad about using coping strategies because I'm too anxious to think about it. But when I do remember to use those various strategies, they definitely help a lot. Have I thought about getting an assistant? I have considered it. I have, it's kind of stressful, the idea of having an employee, basically. So I haven't done that yet, but. What program am I using for editing? I use DaVinci Resolve by Blackmagic. You can get a free version, which has a huge number of tools and is very complete. Recently, I purchased the full version just to have all of the controls at my fingertips, because obviously I spend a lot of time editing, and it's nice to have, you know, all of the tools necessary to kind of speed up the process and cut out some of that unnecessary time repeating the same tasks every video. But the free one is more than sufficient if you need something to edit with. I personally prefer it over Adobe Premiere. Personally, I really dislike Premiere myself. I know a lot of people love it. It's just not my jam. I love DaVinci Resolve. I have never tried Final Cut though, so I know a lot of people like Final Cut, but I've never used it, so I cannot speak to it. In my earliest videos, I used iMovie, which I'm sure has come a long way since I used it, but I have not used it for many years, so I don't really know where it's at right now. Have I done any tarot spreads with the Ethereal Visions tarot deck? I don't know if you mean spreads as in my bullet journal, or if you mean literal tarot spreads. I have done literal tarot spreads with them. I haven't done a theme inspired by them though. Although my February theme of 2020 with the Art Nouveau was loosely inspired by the Ethereal Visions tarot deck, which also has an Art Nouveau vibe. So kind of, sort of, both. What gear am I using? I actually link the cameras and the lenses that I use in the description box of every video. I don't think I left them in the description box of this live stream, but literally any other video. I use Sony cameras. So I have a Sony A6600, which is that one, I think. And then my other camera is a Sony A63, I think. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I use Sony cameras, and then I have a 30 millimeter lens, which is what I'm using here. And then I also have a 16 millimeter, which is what I usually use when I'm doing tabletop videos. But as I said, they're linked in my description box. Okay. Oh. Where's my tea? My husband brought it to me. I've just been too busy answering questions. This is my tea. He brought it for me. Although he's disappeared now, I don't know where he went. I feel very lonely. Just kidding, I have all of you, it's fine. Where did I get my earrings? All my earrings are from Ana Luisa. I did a year-long partnership with them last year, so I have a bunch of jewelry from them, my necklaces as well. So yeah, all three of my holes on either side. These are Ana Luisa earrings, and then necklace as well. Are my nails acrylics? My nails are actually press-ons that I cut and shape and paint myself. I made a video on TikTok showing how I do my nails. I'm starting to lose my voice. So you can check that out if you want to see the process. Tam, one thing I've always wondered, how on earth do you keep your Bujo in the same position when drawing, painting in it? It takes a lot of discipline, because what I would really like to do is turn my Bujo every which way to get a better angle. But I just find it looks better in the end if I keep my bullet journal stationary for as much as possible. So I try really hard not to do it. Sometimes I have to. But I've just kind of trained myself to draw and write with my bullet journal straight on in front of me. It's very difficult though. It feels very unnatural. Would you make a video or reel or post showing your camera and light setup? Yeah, probably. I've thought about doing that actually for a while, and my setup just wasn't finished. It was kind of in a state of metamorphosis, I guess. We finally kind of got our setup to a good spot, but now we have to move. So I might wait till we move into our next place, wherever that is, and get things set up there, and then I can film a video about that. I actually want to do a whole 3-part video for how I plan my videos and some of the sort of behind the scenes stuff, how I film videos and my full setup, and then how I edit them, just to help out any of you who are interested in getting into YouTube. But that'll probably have to wait till we move. So at least the summertime. Okay, just trying to follow the chat here. Oops. This is so awkward. Okay. What's your favorite and least favorite book of all time? Oh my gosh, I don't know. I don't know if I could pick a favorite book of all time. It probably would be something that I feel very nostalgic for my childhood, like The Hobbit, maybe. Anne of Green Gables, maybe. One of those books. And least favorite, I don't know, I've read some pretty bad books. Probably least favorite that I've read in recent years would be Verity by Colleen Hoover. You can check out my Goodreads to see my review of that one. I detested that book with a burning passion. How do you differentiate and handle partnerships, collaborations, and sponsorships? Differentiate. I don't know what you mean by differentiate, but if you leave a clarifier, I can address that. How I handle them is just doing my best. If you have more specific questions, let me know. I just have self-taught how to do things, how to reach out to brands, how to negotiate, how to figure out contracts. Yeah, it's just developed over time. Do you do all your spreads at once? It usually takes me a few days. Yeah, I do them all at once. Usually I can't quite finish in a single day. So it's usually a 2-day thing. With added time, because there's always, stuff involved when you have technology going on as well. I think you've purged Crescent City from your brain. Unfortunately not. Honestly, I disliked Crescent City a lot, but it was not as bad as Verity. Where do you edit your thumbnails? Mostly in Photoshop. I sometimes do some editing in Procreate if I want to do like little doodles or add little details that are easier to add by hand on my iPad. Sometimes I do some basic editing on my phone if I'm struggling in Lightroom or Photoshop to get the coloring that I want, since I'm more familiar with iPhone apps for editing like Snapseed, but for the most part in Photoshop. How did you get on the A&O design team? They reached out to me and asked me to join. They usually add a couple people per year, or, as some people leave and some people come, so you can always reach out to them. They also have different teams that are sort of different from the design team, but there's affiliates and there's, a couple different teams going on. So you can always reach out to them and let them know that you'd love to work with them and see what happens from there. They're really lovely over there. Where did you find the plants behind you next to the desk? I'm looking for something like that for my wedding. These are, just a bunch of dried plants because all living plants die in this house for some reason. They're from different places. I don't remember where these ones come from, the more feathery ones. Those are pampas grass, but they're short. I don't remember where I got those from. I've had them for a couple years, but the tiny little bunny tails and the larger palm leaf, I just recently got on Etsy from a Canadian seller, I think in BC. I can't remember the name of them off the top of my head, but if you remind me, send me a DM on Instagram or something. I can find the specific shop and share it with you if that helps. But Etsy I found is really good for that, especially finding somewhere at least remotely local to you that can send them to you, because it can be a bit expensive for shipping. Let's see. Do you think you'll do more live streams after this? Really enjoying, by the way. Oh, thank you. Maybe, I don't know. This is helping a bit. I was super, super nervous and y'all are being awesome. So that helps a lot. So maybe, who knows? I might just pop on from time to time casually to hang out and then not leave it up after, just so that we can chat and hang out. Oh, my camera just overheated. The camera just overheated. Oh. Uh-oh.
Be right back.
1 second, my camera is unhappy. Okay, let me know in the chat if you can hear me. We just need to switch to my other camera because my camera overheated. It's very sunny today. So hopefully you can still hear me. I'll chat while my husband kindly swaps out the camera for me. Okay, let's see. What did I miss? Why did I decide to start a Bujo? I kind of covered that earlier. I was just super busy and overwhelmed when I was working on a cruise ship because my schedule was all over the place. So I had to do something. I hadn't used any kind of planner since school. I used an agenda in high school, and then I kind of half used one in college, but then I hadn't used one after that. So that's why I started. It would be fun to watch you planning live, Cecilia. Yes, I do those. I do live streams planning with my patrons every month. So that's what we've got going over there. Those are kind of harder for me to do live because I'm very slow and I get self-conscious about it. I also find it hard to talk while drawing or writing. It's just very hard for me to focus on two things at once. I really like the cat that always pops up in your videos. Yeah, both my cats love to pop up in my videos. I feel like Yoda shows up more often because she's a bit more curious and outgoing than Chewy. Can I do a live Bujo setup? Maybe someday, but honestly, y'all, you don't even understand how long it takes me to set up these themes. They take hours and hours and hours because I'm very slow. So I don't know if you'd want to see a live setup. It would take forever. Quirky Quips, thank you for the super chat. Am new, pardon if you've answered, but did you do graphic/commercial arts classes? I did not. I went to school for musical theater, so I took classes in dancing, in various styles, singing, acting, and that's it. That was my degree. I took a visual arts class in grade 9 when I was 14. That's the only arts classes I've ever taken, and I've never taken graphic design. I'm glad you can still hear me. Sorry, we're switching cameras. Just curious, have you ever thought about filming a video with your husband? I've thought about it. I don't think he's shaking his head. I don't think he would want to do that. Maybe one where he was off camera, like he is now for this live stream. I don't think he wants to show his face on the internet. What would you put into a spread that was self-portrait or Elizabeth themed? I don't know. That's an interesting question, Mallory. Probably cats and blankets and cozy things and books and I don't know, all the things I love. I feel like that would be really hard to put together into a single theme. I guess I did kind of do a theme back in November of, I guess that was 2019, where I did a like cozy theme where I did a drawing of myself and my husband in that theme for the cover page. So I kind of did that once, I guess. And that theme was a lot of cozy things that make me feel at home. So that was sort of like that. Okay, let's see. Oh, let me know if you can see my face again. I think you probably can. Hello, welcome. There I am. Thanks for hanging out with me during the black screen. We're figuring all this out together. It's lovely. Quirky Quips, I saw your $5 super chat. Thank you again. I answered your question. Hopefully you heard that. Are there any art forms or crafts you're interested in trying out? I started cross-stitching in quarantine and love it. That's awesome. I think cross-stitch is amazing. I would love to try it out if I ever had any free time, which unfortunately I do not. My husband is crawling under my legs right now, so he doesn't have to be on camera. Yeah, cross stitch sounds really cool. And embroidery in general, I feel like people are doing amazing things with that, and I would love to try it at some point. Again, I never have free time, but if I did, I feel like that's what I would want to do. I also like knitting, but never have any time to knit, and I'm kind of out of practice. So knitting, I'd probably get back into knitting a bit more. Sewing, I made at least one video where I was doing sewing projects, and have a sewing machine now. So I would love to sew more again if I only had time. I like a lot of different types of arts and crafts. You know, I'm just generally a creative person and I like making things with my hands. So I pretty much would try anything, to be honest. Like pottery seems really cool. Candle making seems really cool. Am are we thinking about getting any more pets? Maybe someday we might get a dog or a couple more cats, maybe someday. Right now we have our hands full with Chewie and Yoda. They are very demanding. They require a lot of attention. So, would you ever do a tour of your studio room? Not sure if that was a Patreon vid. I did do a tour of my studio as a live stream for patrons several months ago, although things have changed a lot. Again, I don't know. Maybe I can try to do a quick video touring in here. Maybe just for Reels or IGTV or TikTok or something before we move. But I would love to make more home-related videos once we move. Ideally, maybe into our own place, maybe buying a house, because I love decorating and making a house a home, making it cozy, and making it fit our aesthetic and the things that we like. So that will be fun when we eventually have our own home. So that might be coming sooner rather than later. We have to move regardless. We might be moving into another apartment. We might be buying a house, still up in the air, so we'll see. But I might try to do a quick one of this space before we move, though to be honest, it's kind of a mess right now. So, we have been live for an hour. That's probably why my camera died. It's not used to running for so long. Might have to go soon-ish, but I want to answer some more questions and hang out just a little bit longer before I go. Let's see. Would you be more open to sharing more about your office/home decor? I love your vibe. You're like fall personified. Thank you. Yeah, I would love to. I'd love to share more about home decor. Again, right now we live in an apartment that we do not own, and there's a lot of things that we can't change or can't make the way we would like to make them. So ideally, someday we'll own our own place and we can kind of do whatever we want. And I would love to make content that has to do with, transforming your space, potentially doing, DIY art, making my own curtains. I don't know, doing all that kind of stuff. That's fun to me. What keeps you motivated and inspired for new spreads every month? And Natasha, I don't know. To be honest, it's really hard. Generally, it can be hard just because of burnout. If you're constantly trying to keep yourself creative and coming up with new ideas, you can run out. It can get a little bit difficult to come up with something new or to be excited about creating. Definitely a lot harder during COVID, for sure. I'm feeling a lot less motivated and inspired. I'm just not going anywhere. Usually I get to go out, we'll go out for dinner and I get inspired by an ingredient at the new, Mexican vegan restaurant we go to, or, we go to the museum to see, a special exhibit and that gives me an idea, or, walking down the street and I see some really cool street art that gives me an idea. So I don't have all of that right now, which makes it harder. But yeah, I don't know if I have advice other than just trying to be kind to yourself. So like what I did for April, where I just did a theme that was a lot more simple and pared back than what I was initially planning on doing, just to try to give myself a break. But
I have a question.
My husband has a question.
It's for everybody watching.
I don't know if they can hear you or not. You might have to come closer.
What is your favorite spread of mine on the husband bullet journal?
What's my favorite spread of yours in your bullet journal?
Well, I want to ask them too. They can put it in the comments.
Oh, okay. He wants to know from all of you what your favorite spread is from his bullet journals over the years. And mine? I don't know what mine would be. That's hard. I feel like the ones that I have the most happy memories about are the ones where I surprised you, because it was exciting to see you realize what the theme was and get excited about it.
Like the Back to the Future one or the Apollo one?
Yeah, probably the Apollo one. I feel like you had one of the biggest reactions to any theme ever for that one, so that one was really fun. Plus, we both like space themes, and that was kind of a fun minimalist black and white theme, which I always like. So you have to hit the blue dot to go to the most recent. Yellow Submarine, Mars theme, Winnie the Pooh, final theme. Line art one with the dog from your friend's book.
Oh, yeah.
That one was fun as well. Oh, I also loved the one I did for him that was our cats in a kind of Art Deco. It was like Art Deco / Black Cats, and it was based on Chewie and Yoda. That one was really fun too.
Oh, the suitcase theme. I forgot about
the
that
suitcase, yeah, the stream
jetliner.
Jetliner. I don't know what I was gonna say. Not the right thing. Retro one, space themes. Art Deco cats. Yeah, that one was one of my favorites. I mean, any theme that involves me drawing our cats is probably going to be one of my favorites. The Queen theme. Yes, that one was really good too.
I had the most fun with that one. I did the sound design.
That one took me forever trying to recreate that logo. The general comments hopefully should be available once the stream is over. So once we finish the stream and it has time to process, the comments should be available if you can't see them now. The one with the airplane, yeah, that one was fun too. Awesome. Okay, well, if there are any last questions that you'd like me to answer, leave them now. I'll answer a couple more, and then I'll probably leave it off here because we've been here for an hour now, so. The Winnie the Pooh theme was in September or October of 2020 in my husband's bullet journal. Do I have any merch plans? Not at the moment. No. Would you write a book in the future? Would you like to write a book? I would love to write a book at some point, probably something sci-fi. Maybe in 10 years I can take a step back and chill and write a novel. That'd be great. Would you consider an equipment video? Yes, I'm hoping to do one of those at some point, probably once we are in whatever our new space is when we move. Any plans for Sims 4 videos? I would love to do more builds and stuff on my second channel. I still play The Sims to kind of decompress. I haven't had time though to edit those. I record every build I do just in case, but then I just have no free time to edit more videos. So I haven't been able to do that, but if I get free time or if I can get someone to help with editing, then I can post more of those. Thanks, everybody. Does your mug have code on it? It's from IT Crowd. So that's Moss. And then I did an IT Crowd theme for you, too. That one was fun. It's a joke from an episode with a really long number to call the police.
It's the emergency number.
The emergency number. It's a very deep cut for fans of IT Crowd. Favorite type of tea? I love spicier teas like chai. Thanks for all the congratulations, everyone. What have you learned from your YouTube journey? I've learned a lot of things. I could go on for hours. I don't know. Oh gosh, probably one of the number one things would just be believing in myself and putting myself out there. That has been a really difficult thing to do, especially at various times in my life. When I first started a YouTube channel when I was 14, I was very quiet, very shy. I'm still introverted, but I was, a lot less confident in myself. So I think it's taught me a lot to kind of put my belief in myself and to acknowledge that I have a voice, I have things to say, and I'm allowed to share them as much as anyone else, which can be hard to believe if you're a very quiet, shy person. So probably, I've learned lots of things, but that's one of the main things, I think. It's given me some more self-confidence, even though I can still get a little stressed and nervous and anxious about being on the internet sometimes. What would you call your fashion style? I don't know. I like vintage things. I like classic styles. Yeah, it's hard. I go through phases. You know, I've had many phases of my fashion sense throughout the years. Right now, it's a lot of the colors that I love, very fall colors, kind of cottagecore-y fantasy, especially because I just live and work from home and never go anywhere. I can wear whatever I want and no one's going to give me a weird look for wearing a gown and a corset out on the street. So if I feel like wearing a peasant blouse and a corset to film a video, you know, it's just fun. It's dress up, basically. We were actually having a conversation the other day, my husband and I, about I bought a dress that was based on Meg's dress from Little Women from the 90s movie, that blue dress she wears that's so beautiful. And I was like, you know, as an adult, sometimes, you know, you have to realize that, you know, the best part about being an adult is that you can do whatever you want and you can dress how you want. You can choose to live your life how you want. And people can, you know, have opinions. They can judge you, but, you know, it's up to you. So if I want to wear gowns that are replicas of a dress that I loved as a kid in Little Women, one of my favorite movies, then I'm going to wear it. Because, you know, you only live once. Why not play dress up every single day, you know? Can you name the art class you took on? Oh, I just lost that comment. Oh no, it's gone. Someone was asking if I could name the art class on Skillshare. Something.
That helps you improve?
Oh, that helped me improve. I can, if you send me a message on Instagram, it's probably the easiest way for me to see that, and ask me that again, because I have to look it up. There are lots of different classes I've taken that are helpful in different areas. So if there's a specific area you're interested in, like lettering or watercolor, I can definitely recommend some that I've taken and really liked. Do you have some kind of routine for reading? You always manage to read so many books per month and I'm so slow. Honestly, a big part of it is listening to audiobooks and listening to audiobooks while I do other things, because I work from home and, you know, while I'm filming or if I'm answering emails or if I'm editing a thumbnail, I don't have to be listening to anything to do that. So I can listen to an audiobook while I work. And then I also just typically try to make time to read a little bit in the morning with coffee or at night when I'm done working for the night. It's really just prioritizing it over other things like watching 500 YouTube videos and going down a rabbit hole, you know, trying to choose to read instead. Although I still go down many YouTube rabbit holes regardless. But yeah, audiobooks definitely. And especially because I listen to audiobooks at faster speeds. I like usually at least 1.7 to 2 times speed, so I can listen to them faster. Are you ever overwhelmed by your TBR? Like you want to read everything at the same time, and how do you deal with it? Any tips? Yes, definitely. I get very stressed because I grew up as such a perfectionist. When I set a TBR for myself, my brain sets that as a goal and says, if I don't read every single book on my TBR, then I failed. And I definitely struggle with that, which is why lately I've been trying to purposefully set more vague TBRs, or just kind of selecting a bunch of books within a vague theme and then trying to just randomly read as I want to amongst those books, which has kind of been helping. But yeah, I don't know. It's really hard. I think if I didn't make YouTube videos about it, I potentially wouldn't make TBRs at all, just to reduce the stress completely. And I might try doing that just in general and try to mood read more. But the reason why I like TBRs is that I can sort of try to ensure that I'm reading from a more diverse pool of authors and experiences, which is something that's very important to me. So I don't want to just mood read and then end up picking up books that are recommended that may kind of be one note or only representative of a very small portion of the population. So it's kind of a difficult one for sure, but I definitely get overwhelmed. Have you ever missed a month of bullet journaling? If so, how did you get back into it the next month? I have years ago. I mean, I went several months without bullet journaling when I got back from my contract on the cruise ship before I picked it up again. Since I've been doing videos on them, which is several years ago, I haven't. But, you know, if it happens, it happens. You know, I haven't gone a full month without bullet journaling, but I've definitely had weeks where I have not used my bullet journal at all or barely used it. So, you know, you just have to be kind to yourself, you know? And what are you doing down there? What are you looking for? You're making noise. What do I need this? Oh, someone asked what hair dye I use. So my husband was looking for it. That's the French side. This is the hair dye I use. Hang on. It's vegan, cruelty-free. That's it. What was I saying before that? How do I get back into it? Just get back into it, you know? Be kind to yourself, forgive yourself for, you know, you don't have to forgive yourself because you didn't do anything wrong. Your bullet journal is for you. It's supposed to make your life easier. And if you're going through a period of time where it's making it harder or more stressful, or it's making your life more overwhelming, then take a step back, do what you need to do, and come back to it when you can come back to it or when you want to come back to it, you know? How did I become vegan? I went vegetarian overnight when I was 19, and then about 6 months later, I went vegan overnight from vegetarian. So I don't have too many detailed tips because I did it very, you know, cold turkey, as they say. I typically would advise that people go more gradually, but I have a bunch of blog posts on my website from back in the day talking about ways to transition to veganism, so you can check that out if you're interested. What's my second channel? It's called PBB2, like BBC2, but PBB for Plant-Based Bride. It's linked on my channel. The new police number, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna scroll to the newest ones. Let's see, any last questions here before I peace out? Bye, Indy. Have you thought about creating Skillshare classes? I've considered it. I think what I struggle with is what I would make a class about, to be honest. If y'all have suggestions or requests or things you'd want to see from me in the format of a Skillshare class where it's essentially several YouTube videos in a row and formatted more as a course than what I can typically do in a YouTube video, then please let me know, because I've definitely considered it. I love working with Skillshare. I love using Skillshare as a platform, and it would be really cool to make a class. I'm just not really sure what I could contribute that would be unique and a benefit to people. So yeah, if you have questions or suggestions for that, let me know. Let's see. Has your YouTube consumption changed since you've become more active as a creator, as in how you interact with YouTube? I don't think it's changed so much. I'm still a fan of YouTube first. I love watching YouTube videos. I love finding new creators. It's really exciting for me. I've loved YouTube since I became aware of its existence when I was about 13 or so. I think it's made me a lot more compassionate towards creators and a lot more conscious of how I interact with them because I have experience now from the other side. So like I don't tend to dislike videos. Even if I don't love them, I'll just kind of click out and do something else because I know how sad it is to see dislikes on your videos unless they're saying something, you know, actively harmful or something. I also tend to try to leave comments more often, and when I do leave comments, to try to leave ones that are a bit more detailed, whether I'm giving feedback or just confirming what they've said, to try to start a dialogue, because I know I love to get comments that are, you know, more in depth and trying to engage in conversation. That's one of my favorite things as a creator. You know, I try to support creators. I try to like their videos when they come up. I try to watch their videos when they first post them, because I know how much that helps in the algorithm if they're a creator that I really love and want to support. So yeah, I think it just has made me more aware of what it's like on the other side. So I try to be the kind of YouTube viewer that I love to see, or that I love to have on my channel, you know? Okay. Who are your favorite YouTube creators to watch? Honestly, I watch so many creators in so many random genres that I wouldn't even know where to start, to be honest. If you have a specific genre of YouTube that you're curious about, then I could probably give you recommendations. But honestly, I watch so many random creators. I watch a lot of commentary YouTube as well. Okay, I'll answer a couple more questions and then it will be done because I'm starting to lose my voice and I am also out of breath. I need to take a second to breathe and have some water. Okay, a couple more questions here before I go. Let's see. Oh, a question for my husband. What is your favorite theme of mine in my bullet journal?
I liked that book theme you did. It was very creative with the, was it the Rolling Weekly or whatever?
He said he likes the November theme I did in 2020, the book theme where I had the book within a book cut out Rolling Weekly, where it looked like it was a book on a table. Very creative. Took a lot of time. I was scared to do that one. That was the first time I ever cut my bullet journal pages. I was very anxious about it. What music are you currently listening to? Do you have any favorite artist genres? I listen to a lot of different types of music, I would say. Currently, I've been listening a lot to Dua Lipa's album, Future Nostalgia, because I hadn't heard it, and then it was recommended by a music YouTuber that I watch, Mike the Snare. So I listened to the album, and it was really great. I really enjoyed it. So I've been listening to that a lot. A lot of those songs are in my head. Hair routine, Rebecca Elizabeth, nice name. I have a video on my hair routine, which you can check out on my channel if you want to see it. It never changes, basically. The gateway to the cutting, yes. I answered why I'm called Plant-Based Bride earlier in the stream, so if you watch back later, once we're done, you can see the answer to that. I answered what camera I use also earlier in the stream. They're also linked in every regular video that I post in the description box. Let's see. I think I've kind of answered a lot of these. Most of them. Okay, last one. How do I store old journals? I have a shelf where I store them along with empty journals that I haven't used yet, but I have plans for, or I know I would like to use. So I just have them all on a shelf. And then some of my really old bullet journals that are tiny and kind of hard to stack, I have in a box on my shelving unit over in that corner. Okay, well, I think I'm gonna go. We're coming up to an hour and a half and my voice is getting raw here. Thank you all for hanging out with me. This is amazing. This is so much fun. As I mentioned, I was super nervous to do a live stream in public on the internet, but I shouldn't have been nervous because y'all are awesome as always. So thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing to my channel, for helping us reach 100,000. It's honestly mind-boggling. When I get my plaque, which I got notification that it's been shipped, so when I get it, I'll probably do a little video of me unboxing it because I'm sure I'll be emotional for TikTok or Reels or something, just something short. And remember to enter the giveaway if you would like to win some stuff from Archer and Olive. Thank you to Archer and Olive for working with me on this giveaway and providing a bunch of winnings and being willing to ship them internationally so that everyone from all over can win them. Again, all the details for the giveaway are in the description box, so check that out. If you do have more questions, please let me know. But hopefully everything was really clear. And that's it, I guess. Thank you for coming. This was great. Thank you for all the love. I really appreciate it. And as I said, this video, once I end the stream, it will probably take YouTube a little while to process it since it's kind of a long stream, but it should eventually pop back up on my channel to be watched if you want to rewatch parts, if you missed the beginning, whatever. You can watch it faster speed if you want to kind of get through it quicker. And then also the comments section should be available at that point, so you can enter to win the grand prize in the comments of the stream. Again, in the main comments and not the live chat. Should pop up there, and you should also be able to see the chat running through as well on the replay, hopefully. So yes, and if I missed your question, I'm sorry. There were so many. I tried to get to a bunch of them, but of course, if you have more questions for me in general, you can leave comments anywhere or send me DMs, and I do my best to answer them. Okay, that's it. The cats aren't in here right now. They're napping in another room, but they would love to see you, of course. And my husband is here as well.
Bye.
Wave in the camera. Yay. Okay, that's it. Okay, bye everybody. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it.